A scout is thrifty. It's the ninth point of the Scout Law. Now, back in the 1911 edition of the Scout Handbook, it says, "He does not wantonly destroy property. He works faithfully, wastes nothing, and makes the best use of his opportunities. He saves his money so that he may pay his own way, be generous to those in need, and helpful to worthy objects. He may work for pay, but must not receive tips for courtesies or good turns." So how might a scout go about living to this point of the Scout Law? Well, one way is by using a piggy bank. Learn more about the history of the piggy bank and the 3 special banks that we have in the collection of the National Scouting Museum on this edition of Artifact of the Week. The practice of saving money is very old. At the beginning of the Boy Scouts of America, it was a rank requirement for second class to save and deposit $1 in a bank. Now that would be $31.19 in today's money. For first class, your savings and deposit had to double to $2, so about $62 in savings. So how is a scout supposed to meet this requirement? Introduce the piggy bank. Well, before we talk about scout-related banks, let's talk about the history of the piggy bank. Storage containers for saving up coins have been around for centuries. People tended to use containers with small slits in them so they couldn't easily access the money. The oldest known money box dates back to the 2nd century BC and was found in a Greek colony in Asia Minor. It features the shape of a small Greek temple with a slit towards the top. Money boxes of various forms were also excavated in Pompeii and Herculaneum. A biblical reference to a money box can be found in the Old Testament in the 2nd book of Kings. Jehoiada the priest took a chest and bored a hole in its lid. He placed it beside the altar. The priest who guarded the entrance put into the chest all the money that was brought to the temple of the Lord. 2 Kings 12:9. Piggy banks date back to a time before actual banks even existed. The first true piggy banks were terracotta banks in the shape of a pig with a slot in the top for depositing coins that were made in Java, an island in the South Pacific, as far back as the 1500s. This piggy bank is from the 1600s. The animal depicted is technically not a pig, but a Javanese wild boar that was kind of small and native to the island. In Europe, before the advent of modern-style banking institutions, people routinely saved their money at home in common kitchen jars. During the Middle Ages, metal was very expensive and seldom used for household wares. Instead, dishes and pots were made of an inexpensive orange-colored clay called pug. Whenever a person found themselves with an extra coin or two, they dropped it into one of their clay jars, a pug pot. Now you notice that pug was spelled P-Y-G-G. The vowels in early English sounded different than they do today. During the time of the Saxons, P-Y-G-G would be pronounced pug. But as the pronunciation of Y changed from U to I, pug eventually came to be pronounced like pig. Now, coincidental or not, the Old English word for the farm animal pigs was piga, with the Middle English word evolving into piggy, possibly because of the fact that the animals rolled around in pig mud and dirt. Over the next 200 to 300 years, the English language continued to evolve, and the clay pig and the animal piggy came to be pronounced the same. Also, Europeans slowly forgot that pig once referred to the earthenware pots, jars, and cups. By the 1800s, when English potters were asked to make pig banks, they started producing banks shaped like pigs. Although unintended, this visual pun appealed to customers and delighted children. The piggy bank was born. So now we know where the pig part comes from, but how about the word bank? When money first started changing hands in northern Italy, lenders did business in open markets, working over a table or bench. Now, these medieval Venetian banks were set up in the main squares by men who both changed and lent money. Their table or benches would be covered with currencies from many countries in the area. The Italian word for bench or counter is banco, from which the English word bank is derived, hence piggy bank. Now, early money boxes and piggy banks did not have an easy way to remove the money. They didn't have that hole in the bottom where you could simply remove the coins and then reuse the bank. The idiom break the bank means to ruin one financially or to exhaust one's resources. While not widely accepted, some believe it comes from having to break a piggy bank to get the money out of it. Now others believe that it may have been derived from an Italian expression, banca rotta, meaning broken bench, with a broken bench possibly symbolizing that a moneylender was out of business. It's most likely that Break the Bank got its origins in the world of gambling, where it means that a player has won more than the banker or the house can pay. This is just one side of the story and viewpoint on history of piggy banks. Others strongly believe pigs have cultural significance. Many view them as a symbol of prosperity, wealth, and luck, which lends itself well to the reasons the pig is considered a symbol for saving money. Regardless, piggy banks made their way to the United States in the 1800s as European migration, particularly Germans, to the U.S. increased. For collectors, there are two types of banks: still banks and mechanical banks. In the collection of the National Scouting Museum, we have an example of a mechanical bank that dates to 1912 to 1917. This is the Boy Scout Camp Cast Iron Mechanical Bank. It was made by the J&E Stevens Company and is attributed to highly acclaimed bank designer Charles A. Bailey and celebrates the 1910 formation of the Boy Scouts of America. The coin slot is towards the top, and pressing this leaf-shaped lever drops the coin into the bank and raises the Boy Scout camp flag. Our second bank is a still bank called Soldier Boy Bank, a Boy Scout still coin penny bank manufactured by A.C. Williams Cast Iron between 1910 and 1935. It's manufactured in two halves, with the two halves held together with a screw in the back. Coins are dropped in the bank through a slot at the top of the backpack. It's just under 6 inches tall. Our final bank is from the 1960s and is a book-shaped bank that emphasizes the 9th point of the Scout Law: a Scout is thrifty. There was a similar bank made for Cub Scouts featuring a Cub Scout Saves. The bank measures 5 1/4 inches tall, 3 1/4 inches across, and 1 1/4 inches deep. In 1968, the bank retailed for $1.95 from the National Supply Division. Today, piggy banks have become an enduring icon for financial literacy. They are tools used to teach children about the importance of saving money. The power of this symbol is so ingrained in culture that it now transcends physical coins. PNC has embedded its unique Punch the Pig automatic savings tool into its online virtual wallet product. In some European countries, notably in the Netherlands and other German-speaking countries, it is customary to give piggy banks as gifts because pigs are associated with luck and good fortune. At New Year's, so-called lucky pigs are still exchanged as gifts. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Join us next time as we continue to learn more about the history of the Boy Scouts of America through the collection of the National Scouting Museum and Artifact of the Week.